I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire!
So today I'm going to be watching, there we go, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde from 1931. I've watched the 41 version because it has Ingrid Bergman and Spencer Tracy. And I was like, how can this be, any worse than the 1931 version? This has to be the better version. I remember it being kind of boring. Apparently the 31 version is the better version. So I'm going to check that out. I imagine it won't be much like Dr. Black and Mr. Hyde. Yeah.
Dr. Jekyll or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is absolutely brilliant. It's a wonderful film. It's definitely better than the Spencer Tracy Ingrid Bergman version. Where to begin? It really says something when there's a movie that tells a story that you already know and you still get sucked into it and you still hope for a different outcome, which is the definition of insanity. But I also believe is the definition of really good and smart storytelling. It really does a great job of making you sympathetic to Dr. Jekyll or Jekyll, and really understanding who he is, and really sympathetic to his inner struggle as a human being and as a man, and relating that to like all of mankind, So obviously, when inevitably he, takes on his alternate persona, you sort of understand where he's coming from, and I've never quite seen an interpretation of the story handling that element quite so well. The camera work and directing is great. There's these first person shots that are great. The effects of this are famously good. And actually going over being shown some clips from the film is what got me to want to visit this version, which, as I said, I had heard was really good. It has a lot of what makes the best of 1920s cinema going for it, in that you feel this feeling of experimentation and wanting to dwell on certain shots and make the most out of so little. And that spirit is still very much alive in this. It's a 1931 film, and that is definitely to its benefit. The acting was really great. I loved the cast. I just think this is a wonderful, wonderful film. It's a bummer that the 1941 version kind of put me off from it for this long. I watched that I think a few years ago now. But this is a wonderful, really great movie. I highly recommend it. It has a great Halloween feel to it. It's only about an hour and a half, too. I mean, seek it out. You can watch it on YouTube, rent it for, I think, $3. It's a great 1930s film. I think it's right up there with Frankenstein and all the classics. It's better than... I think it's better than The Mummy, better than the original werewolf movie, or Wolfman, I suppose it was called.